Hey, welcome to Viking Preparedness. I am Pastor Joe Fox thinking about NATO today. Trump's there, talked to a bunch of people. They're all scared that he's going to pull out of NATO. The liberals are talking about it like that's a bad thing. And you know that they would actually like to pull out of NATO in the past. It irritates me how people won't support anything Trump does just because he's Trump. I think that's juvenile. It's immature. NATO. I had the great honor and privilege of playing in the Balkans for a while, thanks to your tax dollars. And it struck me then, and I still have the thought now, that if NATO could not handle what was going on in the former Republic of Yugoslavia, FRY, we had no business being a part of, let alone the major supporter of NATO. The Balkans, when they blew up, yeah, it was bad. It was ugly. People were killing each other and stuff. And it was basically like West Virginia going off. Do you think we would have to call NATO in to help us solve West Virginia? If the European armies that were supposed to be our allies against the mighty Soviet Union couldn't handle Kosovo on their own, since it's in their backyard, they could drive there. What made us think they were going to be able to help us with the Soviets? I've used this analogy before with NATO and talking about Kosovo. Why in the world would I ally myself with some 6-year-old girl, who lives 5 miles that way, and tell her, all right, my life for your life. If anyone messes with you, I'll come in with everything to support them. But in return, if anyone messes with me, I need you to come to my aid. What good is that for me? All that does is put me at risk to go defend this girl every time she gets into trouble. She's not going to give me any help. That's NATO. They've constantly relied on the U.S. to save their butt from the Soviet Union, should the Soviet Union decide to expand. Now Russia. They haven't contributed anything to speak of, monetarily wise, to NATO compared to what we're doing to the organization. And Trump has been trying since he became in office to get them to, 2.5% GDP? They're not even doing that. I mean, come on, most Vikings spend more than 2.5% of your GDP on defense. If you're taking any kind of martial arts classes, all that instructional fees and equipment, your guns, your ammo, I would submit if you have, NBC, nuclear, biological, chemical gear, that can come off. Come on. You're not spending 2.5% of your take home on preparedness? I think you are. And on defense, most people I know are spending 2.5% on defense. So Trump is kind of, as somebody said, crapping all over NATO. Yeah, they're not doing us any good. And so if they're not going to do us any good, why should we play? We can fight Russia on our own if we have to do that, and Trump's going to go there and try and see that we don't have to fight Russia, right? He made a point to Merkel, Chancellor of Germany, Deutschland, that why do you want us to give you money to defend against Russia when you're buying gas from Russia? You're paying Russia, you're giving them money, and you want us to help you defend yourself from them? That doesn't make sense. He's right. Estonia is very afraid. Estonia is a NATO member. They have a military about the size of one of our brigades, I think. Maybe a division, but I doubt it. They're between a rock and a hard place. I think Russia will probably eventually want that little bit of the Baltics back under their sphere of influence. And Estonia is about the size of the Ozarks. Matter of fact, it's smaller than the Ozarks. What's in it for us? What's in it for us? If I was Estonia, I'd be figuring out how to make nice with the Russians. They're in their backyard. They're in some strategic sea lanes that Russia needs. Yeah. I'm just watching these things. I guess some Estonian poobah. Somebody sent me an article, and then I saw something else on it. And I've been researching Estonian Special Operations Forces earlier today. But one of their guys said, wrote an article and basically said, we're going to train everybody to fight and die, and Russia won't get anything. It's the 21st century. If they want it, I think they're going to take it. They did have a cool motto, though. Prepare, survive, resist. And I thought we could apply that to ourselves. Now, if I was Estonian and I really thought the Russians were coming, I'd leave. And people say, oh, how would you leave? Well, it's the same thing as if I found out the communist Chinese were coming en masse to the Ozarks to take it over for whatever reason, I would probably leave. I'd go somewhere else. I'm not going to die for land. But I get it. I know, I understand those people who say they will. Okay. So prepare, survive, resist. First thing you gotta do is prepare physically, mentally, emotionally, psychologically. Then you have to survive. It doesn't do any good charging the guns most of the time. And then you have to resist. If you've survived, then resist. Oh, we got some puppies out here. We're gonna go look at some puppies while I'm talking. Prepare, survive, resist. Hello, puppies. Hello, puppies. That is Casper. She's going away soon. This is Artica. Who's this? España. And I hear somebody's in here. You guys hot? There's Bozzy and Sable, who's lightening up greatly. Puppies still available. All of them except Casper. Casper is spoken for. If you're interested and you're willing to drive to the Ozarks to pick up your dog or fly. I have somebody flying in from California this Saturday and then flying back out again with Casper. Somebody drove from New England and picked up a dog. Somebody drove from Illinois and picked up a pup. So let's see if you can see him. We doing okay? Hmm? Yeah? What about you guys? It's kind of hot, huh? Kind of hot. Choosing your friends, choosing your allies. Why do I have my glasses on? Because it was sunny out there. Let's talk a little bit about the last post I just did, where I said, link up with people. I think you should. No man's an island. You don't have to give them your, social security number, mother's maiden name, and your date of birth when you meet with these people. Just understand they're preppers, are concerned about the future, and they'd kind of like to find some people to hook up with too. I suggest you go out of your way to meet other preppers. I do. And I always have. It's not just because I'm now Pastor Joe, Viking Preparedness. I like meeting preppers. I like talking to them. Don't be overly paranoid. Don't be overly sharing. Just be yourself. Be normal. Be nice. Find out where people live in general. You don't need their street address, and that kind of thing. But it's like, hey, what town are you guys near? Because maybe it's close to you, right? Maybe you guys could figure something out and hook up and start doing some things together. Many hands make light work. That type of deal. I've got my eye on Russia. I've got my eye on Iran, Israel. I've got my eye on China. What don't I have my eye on? What should I be looking at? North Korea, where's that in the news? What's going on there, right? Who can hurt us? The U.S., China, Russia. North Korea can make things ugly for us. Iran. That's about it. It's pretty good times right now. These are pretty good times. Just keep doing what you do. Try to stay cool. It's going up to 97 degrees here today. Woof, hyperacres. Not good. Not good. But I'm getting soft. Can you see how I have a clean white shirt on? Mainstream preppers. Yeah, I'm hanging out in air conditioning. Pretty nice. All right. NATO. I think it's outlived its usefulness. I don't think we need to be spending a whole lot of money there. We certainly don't need to be spending more than our fair share. Allies that can't help you aren't great allies. Think about that when you form a mag. Think about the pennies that TJ talks about. Think about yourself. You don't want to be a penny. What do you bring to the table? Sometimes you got to look outside the box. Think outside the box. I get, mostly on YouTube, I get comments from people, oh, basically what they're saying, I'll put it in my words, I'm worthless. No one will care for me. Okay, well, one, you are looking for someone to care for you, which is a bad mindset, as opposed to looking at what you can bring to a group. A little bit of humility goes a long way, too. You may be all that, but jumping up and down and screaming about it and expecting people to bend over and go, oh, yes, we honor you and worship you and we're so lucky you're here. That's not a good attitude to have either. All right, just a little update. Like I said, thinking about NATO, thinking about how it's not that useful anymore, thinking about how we could save some money, thinking about as much as Estonia is probably cool, and I wish them well. I don't see sending our 82nd Airborne over there to help defend them. All right, interested in your thoughts. I'll see you out there.